Hi there, I'm Dr. Alan Ehler, Dean of Southeastern University's College of Christian Ministry and Religion, and I'll be your host for your experience with your Master of Arts in Ministerial Leadership as you take part of what we call the Executive Cohort process over the next 12 months. I don't know what you're feeling right now, but if I was to guess, it's probably a mix of excitement and fear. Because most of you haven't been in school for a while, so you wonder, do you have what it takes? How hard is this going to be? What is going to happen to you as you go through this next 12 months of intense learning and molding and shaping? And I can tell you, it will be tough. But you're going to come out of it formed and shaped and better equipped for ministry than you ever could have possibly imagined. And I can say that confidently after working with hundreds of students who've gone through similar programs. Grad school is a step up. Even if you did well in undergrad, you're going to be reading more, you're going to be writing more, you're going to be thinking differently, in many cases deeper than you have up until this point in time in your career or your ministry, in your education. And for some of you, it may have been quite a while since you've been in the habit of writing and reading so much. So go ahead and start now. In fact, even though the program's structured a little different, don't wait until we get together in Atlanta to begin doing your work. We're giving you assignments ahead of time because this program is designed to maximize your time while still giving you a fully accredited master's degree that gives you the same level of academic work and involvement that you get if you came here on campus. But we've structured it for busy executives who can then take the time. We've reduced the travel requirement. It used to be you would travel once a month or so, come here to Lakeland from wherever you were, and that involved a lot of travel, a lot of plane tickets or driving, however that happened, more stays in hotels. So what we've done is we've compacted the time together that we'll be together in class to 3 different sessions. The first one will be in Atlanta in October 2014, then we'll be here in Lakeland in January 2015, and then in Washington State in June of 2015 with one other extra experience along the way. And there's some big advantages with this too. One of those is you're going to get to see what is going on in different parts of the country. You're going to be visiting a lot of America's leading churches and getting to see how things function in different contexts. But you'll still get that full academic experience. And so it's going to be supplemented by some online work. And that's what I want you to do, is to begin jumping in right away. For our Atlanta session, you'll have 4 different classes, 4 different sessions you'll be gathering together, being led by Dr. Stephen Fetke, who's one of our faculty here, as well as Dr. Bob Houlihan, former regional director for Asia Pacific and the Assemblies of God World Missions. And Dr. David Cooper, this is his first time teaching for Southeastern, but he's the pastor of Mount Perrin Church of God, one of the leading Church of God churches across the country and around the world. And then I'll be doing your final live session, but my class will actually be the first one that you start online, and it's called The Shape of Practical Theology. And in this class I've integrated some writing principles so you can begin to develop that habit and also know how to write as you begin doing the work for the other classes. And what we're doing is 2-week blocks before we get together. So my class you'll have for 2 weeks, and you'll have another one for another 2 weeks, another for another 2 weeks. And these will involve several components. One is reading books, writing papers, typically reflections on your reading, maybe some personal experience along the way, but then also what we call forum discussions. You'll be using a software program called MyFire. And if you haven't already been on there yet, go there. It's called myfire.seu.edu, and when you log in with your Southeastern password, and if you have any problem with that, I'll tell you in a little bit what to do. But when you log in, you'll see it'll be list your courses. You should see all 4 courses listed there, and go into the Shape of Practical Theology first. You'll be able to download what we call a syllabus, a document usually 6 to 10 pages that will give you your specific instructions for each class, what books you'll need to purchase and read, and what assignments you'll need to do, how you'll be graded, what those standards are, how to get a hold of the professor. The syllabus is our contract with you. This is what we're saying, do this, and we will give you the degree. This is how we're going to assess your learning along the way. So that's a very important document. You'll also see several links there on the page in MyFire, sometimes divided up in what we call folders. And hopefully, if you're watching this video, you've already found it because we're in one of those there. There'll be a couple other videos that I will load up and other links for uploading your assignments. But one thing, as I said, these discussion forums is how you're going to begin to get to know one another in the class, begin to process all this material you're reading and thinking about before you show up to class. Now, I did this in my doctoral program. It involved a lot of online discussion forum, and we went through as a cohort, much like you're going to be experiencing. And it was a great way to help strengthen that relationship as well as processing the information. So it felt like we were in class every week, several times, getting together with students. And what we're asking you to do is to write a post that answers the question that's being asked. So talk about it. Sometimes it's related to your reading, sometimes to your experience, maybe what you talked about in the class or one of the other experiences. But then also respond to other students. I'm asking for 1 to 3. And that is dialogue. Go ahead and have conversation. Ask each other's questions. Get involved, and you'll find that you really enjoy this. This can be a great way to fuel your learning. If you just do it, I'm just do something just to get a grade, you're going to miss out. Get engaged, begin to discuss, and that way when you show up in Atlanta, you're already friends, already ready to go, ready to dig in and to learn together. It's going to be an incredible experience. Well, I've got a team of people here to help me. One you're going to get to know very well if you haven't already. His name is Yoon Shin. Yoon has just finished his Master of Arts in Theological Studies here at Southeastern University, and he's working on his PhD actually as the program will be getting rolling. And he will be your advisor as well as a program coordinator. If you got any problems with anything, go to him. He'll be giving you lodging recommendations, taking care of a lot of your registration, any questions you have on a lot of those details, you'll be working with him. Also helping me is Dr. Sam Hemby, who is the director of our graduate program here at Southeastern University's College of Christian Ministry and Religion. He's more directly involved in the other delivery models of the MAML. We have an on-campus one that meets in the evening as well as a fully online one, and Master of Arts in Theological Studies is also online or in residence. And we're also rolling out a Master of Divinity degree as well, which if you feel like you want to keep going, this MAML is a great start. You'll be able to just keep rolling and get to the 72 credits, and almost all of these credits will apply and count that direction. Well, at any rate, let me just give you some suggestions on how to make life work. First of all, this is work. We're not just giving you a piece of paper. You're going to earn this. You will be reading more than you've ever read before, probably. Writing more, maybe. But thinking harder, thinking more deeply. And it's going to require some life management decisions. But remember, it's 1 year, and it's one of those things to make it a priority. You're already making a financial sacrifice to be here. You're going to make a time sacrifice. But as you take this season of life to dig deeper, you'll come out the other side being strengthened in your ministry. And we've heard this feedback over and over again from students. So depending on how quickly you can read and write, count on 15 to maybe 20 hours a week of study, of work dedicated. Think about where that's going to come from. Some people will choose to do it all on the weekends. Others would rather have that spread up several different evenings. And some of you, maybe you don't need 15 hours a week. But remember, these are 4 graduate credit classes for 3 credits each. That's a full load for a graduate student. So you're going to be pretty busy. Just anticipate on that. Manage things. Don't let things get behind. Stay ahead of the work. Stay on top of things, and I believe you'll see that things are going to be a lot better for you. As you read, it's not always reading every word of the book. You want to begin to dive into the book and understand where it comes from. Let me tell you, the most important thing to read is the table of contents. Get a feel for the overall layout of the book. Most writers will kind of lay out their thesis, their main concepts in the introduction. Read those carefully. In some cases, introductions have nothing to do with the rest of the book. And then I'm not saying skim the rest of it, but you don't necessarily have to read in as much detail, but be sure you get the ideas and concepts. Because you're going to be dialoguing on those in class, you'll have to be writing on them, be ready to do that. And one thing I found helpful is whenever it's possible, I'll listen to an audiobook. If I'm going to be doing and driving, that's one way to capitalize on time. Even when I'm doing stuff around the house, even if you're mowing the grass, doing the dishes, whatever, have the audiobooks to be able to supplement that. Not every book we assign you will be available in audiobook, but sometimes that can be a way to help maximize your time. And I'll give you a whole session on how to write effectively. It'll be a part of this class. You'll also be reading some books that are expressly written for writing at the graduate level. But the big thing is, remember, be in prayer about this. You are making an exciting step. If you're nervous, just remember everybody else is too. And I believe you're going to go through some seasons here. And here's typically what I see happen. Right now you've got this mix of excitement and fear. and hopefully the excitement's prevailing and you're jumping in and you're going to start to learn things. You're going to read, you're going to be challenged, and it's going to be fun and it's going to be stimulating. We get together in Atlanta, you're just going to go away with your mind blown. This is incredible. We're going to visit all these churches. It's just going to be energizing. But along the way, the workload's going to increase and you're going to feel that burden there. And maybe you get your first paper back and you've always gotten straight A's and you get a B on it. You're like, oh no, can I do this? Am I cut out for this? And you're going to want to quit. And let me tell you, it's kind of like waves. And most people go through that part of the wave. And if you quit right there, you'll never appreciate the benefit later on. But imagine you start weightlifting for the first time. You haven't lifted weights ever in your whole life. You know what happens? It hurts. Why? Because you're using muscles you haven't used before. But you keep going to the gym 3-4 days a week. Guess what happens? In a month, you're feeling great. You're feeling stronger than you ever have, better than you ever have. And suddenly those weights that used to make you hurt and cry in pain, it's not enough. You got to pack more on. You're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you stay with it, that will happen to you in your MAML program, because you're going to be able to learn more. You're going to be able to think more. You manage your time more effectively, get more out of reading and writing. And I'll probably see in you what I've seen in most of our students. You don't want to quit, in which case you want to keep rolling, get our Doctor of Education degree or a Master of Divinity, and I want to encourage you, just keep doing it. But right now, don't worry about that. Worry about this class and the classes you're taking. Study, learn, manage your time, and by the way, treat those who are around you. Just love on them, ask them to give you a lot of grace and support you for the next year, and it'll be worth their time as they do. Well, again, I'm Alan Ehler, and if I can do anything for you, don't hesitate to contact me. Email is probably the best way. AJ, it's for Alan John, EHLER at seu.edu. Again, AJ, EHLER at seu.edu. You can also click the link on my class page there on MyFire, and it'll jump right there to me. My office number is 863-667-5044, 863-667-5044. My cell is area code 425-422-9902. And if you're on campus in Lakeland and want to get together for coffee or something, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I look forward to getting to know you better over these next 12 months as we just have an incredible